All right, so today we're diving into the world of AI, 1 year after President Biden's executive order.
We're going beyond just the headlines with this deep dive,
Exactly.
exploring this really detailed report.
Exactly. A deep dive into this report about how the administration is approaching AI.
It's really interesting how they're trying to both manage the risks and unlock the potential of AI at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot to cover. I mean, just to give you an example,
Oh, yeah.
did you know that there's now like a dedicated government task force that's focused specifically on AI data centers?
Wow.
And AI is even being used to protect our power grid. I mean, things are moving so fast.
It's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. So let's get into it.
Yeah, this report is really fascinating because it gives us a really an inside look at how AI is actually being applied across different sectors.
No.
It's not just theoretical anymore.
Right.
AI is having a real impact on our lives.
It is. It's not science fiction. It's here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's start by just talking about how the U.S. government is working to manage the potential risks of AI, because obviously there are a lot of risks.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The report emphasizes that the administration is taking a very proactive approach to this, and they even use the phrase boldest actions ever taken
Wow.
to describe their approach to AI safety and security. And one of those bold actions that they're taking is the use of the Defense Production Act.
Now, that's something you normally hear about in emergencies, right?
Right. It's usually like a wartime thing.
Exactly. So how are they using that for AI?
So in this case, they're actually using it to require AI developers to share the results of their safety and security testing.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like forcing transparency.
Exactly. It's a big push for transparency and accountability. And it makes sense because AI models are only as good as the data they're trained on, and there's always that risk of, bias creeping in or just unintended consequences that nobody predicted.
Right. And those consequences can be really significant.
Absolutely. And it's not just about collecting data on the testing. They're also taking a more proactive approach to safety.
How so?
The report actually mentions that the U.S. AI Safety Institute is conducting pre-deployment testing
Oh, wow.
of major AI models. And that includes models from some of the biggest developers in the field.
So they're getting in there before these things are even released.
Exactly. It's like a safety check before these AI systems are let loose on the world.
It's like a dress rehearsal for AI.
Yeah, kind of like a final exam before it can graduate into the world.
I like that analogy.
Now, one other thing I wanted to mention, because it's really important, is the National Security Memorandum on AI.
Okay.
This memo really emphasizes that the U.S. needs to lead the way in developing safe, secure, and trustworthy AI, and that this is crucial for our national security.
Right. It's not just about reacting to potential threats. It's about proactively shaping the future of AI so that we can maintain our leadership position.
Exactly. And that leadership position is really important
Right.
because we want to make sure that the values that we believe in, democracy, freedom, all of those things are baked into the AI systems that are being developed around the world.
It's about setting the standard for ethical AI development globally.
Exactly. Because if we don't do it, somebody else will. And they might not have the same values that we do.
It's a high-stakes game for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
But, it's not all doom and gloom.
No, of course not. AI has so much potential for good.
Right. And that leads us into the executive order's focus on how AI can be harnessed to actually benefit society. Yeah. So how do we use this powerful technology to make the world a better place?
Well, the report actually covers a whole range of initiatives that are aimed at using AI to address some of the world's most pressing challenges.
I'm really curious to hear about some of those.
Okay, well, one key initiative is the launch of the National AI Research Resource, or NARAR.
That's a mouthful.
It is, but it's a really important program. Essentially, it's a major investment in AI research and education. The goal is to provide researchers across the country with access to the computing power, the data, and the expertise they need to really make significant advances in AI.
So it's like giving them the tools they need to succeed.
Exactly. And this could lead to breakthroughs in all sorts of fields, things like medicine, energy, and even manufacturing.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities.
It really is.
Now, beyond just the general research, the report also highlights efforts to apply AI to specific fields. For example, one that really caught my eye was the use of AI for autonomous experimentation in semiconductor material development.
Okay, so what does that actually mean?
So basically, it means using AI to actually design and run experiments that can help us develop new materials for computer chips.
Oh, wow. So AI is helping us create faster, more efficient, and more powerful computer.
Exactly. It's like AI helping us build the future of computing.
It's like AI is building itself a better brain.
Yeah, I like that it's kind of meta.
It is.
Now, another example that I thought was really fascinating was how AI is being used by astronomers.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
They're using it to analyze massive amounts of data from telescopes, which could potentially lead to like brand new discoveries about the cosmos.
It's like AI is helping us unlock the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is, and these are just a couple of examples. There's so many more.
Right, these are just scratching the surface.
Exactly. And what's really exciting is that it's not just about developing new technologies, it's about ensuring that these advancements actually benefit society as a whole.
Right, it's got to be for the good of humanity, not just for the sake of technological progress.
Absolutely. Technology should serve humanity, not the other way around.
And that leads us into another really important aspect of the executive order, which is the focus on the human element.
Right, because AI is not just about algorithms and data, it's about people.
Exactly. It's about how AI impacts people's lives, and that's what the report emphasizes, how the executive order addresses the impact of AI on workers, consumers, privacy, civil rights, all of that.
So they're really looking at the whole picture.
Yeah, they're taking a holistic approach because they recognize that AI is going to touch every aspect of our lives, and we need to be prepared for that.
It's about making sure that AI is a force for good in society.
Exactly. And one area of focus that I think is particularly important is the impact of AI on workers.
Right, because there's a lot of concern about AI taking jobs away from people.
Exactly. And those concerns are valid. But the report highlights how the Department of Labor is addressing this issue. They've actually released AI principles and best practices
Oh, interesting.
that put a strong emphasis on worker well-being. It's about making sure that AI complements human skills and creates new opportunities rather than just replacing workers altogether.
So it's about finding that balance between automation and human employment.
Exactly. It's about making sure that AI is a tool that empowers workers, not a threat that displaces them.
That's really important.
It is. And another sector where AI is going to have a huge impact is healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. AI has the potential to revolutionize medicine.
Yeah, from diagnosing diseases to developing new treatments. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
And the report highlights how the Department of Health and Human Services is taking steps to make sure that this happens responsibly.
Yeah, I mean, with all this potential, there are also a lot of risks.
Right.
Patient privacy, data security, all of that.
Exactly. And that's why they've launched initiatives like the AI Safety Program, and they've implemented new transparency requirements.
Can you give me an example of those transparency requirements?
Sure. One example is the requirement for healthcare providers to actually inform patients when AI is being used in their care.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's about being upfront with patients and making sure they understand how their data is being used.
Right, because transparency builds trust.
Exactly. And the report also mentions the potential of AI to actually help predict the safety and efficacy of new drugs.
Wow, that could really speed up the drug development process.
Yeah, potentially making new treatments available much faster.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to see how AI is being used to address these real-world challenges, and this report provides a lot of very specific examples.
Yeah, it really shows how AI is moving from theory to practice.
It's happening across all these different sectors. It's really amazing.
It's clear that the U.S. government is approaching AI from multiple angles. They're mitigating risks, fostering innovation, and they're recognizing that AI is not just a technological issue, it's a societal one.
Right, and that's so important to keep in mind.
Absolutely. AI is going to impact every aspect of our lives, and we need to be prepared for that.
We need to have those conversations now so that we can shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Exactly. It's a future that we're all going to be a part of, so we need to make sure it's a future we want to live in. But it's not just about jobs and healthcare. The report also highlights how the executive order addresses AI's impact on consumers.
Right, especially when it comes to privacy and civil rights.
Exactly. I mean, we're seeing AI being used in more and more areas of our lives now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like from shopping recommendations to loan applications.
It's everywhere.
And it's raising all sorts of really important questions.
Like what?
About how our data is being used and, whether these systems are actually fair and unbiased.
That's a big one.
It is. And the report talks about how the National Science Foundation and the Department of Energy are both investing in research on privacy-enhancing technologies.
Okay, so what are those exactly?
Well, think of them as like guardrails for AI. They can help protect our privacy while still allowing AI systems to access the data they need to function.
So it's about finding that balance.
Exactly, because we want the benefits of AI, but we don't want to sacrifice our privacy in the process.
Right, and the report really emphasizes that AI should be a tool for equality, not a means of perpetuating existing inequalities.
Absolutely.
And it highlights efforts to address these concerns across various sectors,
Like which ones?
like housing, education, public benefits programs, you name it.
So they're really trying to make sure that AI is used fairly across the board?
Exactly. And one example that the report gives is the Department of Justice's work to prevent unlawful discrimination that can result from the use of AI.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they're actually convening agencies' civil rights offices to make sure that AI systems are being used equitably.
So they're bringing in the experts on civil rights to make sure that AI doesn't become a tool for discrimination.
Exactly. It's about baking those values into the technology from the ground up.
It makes sense.
And speaking of national security,
Oh, yeah.
the report also delves into how the U.S. is leveraging AI to protect critical infrastructure.
Right, because those systems are so vulnerable to cyber attacks these days.
Exactly. We're talking about the power grid, transportation networks, financial systems, all of that.
And the stakes are incredibly high. If those systems go down, it could cripple the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how is AI being used to protect these systems?
Well, one key part of this effort is the establishment of the AI Safety and Security Board.
Okay, what do they do?
So they're tasked with advising the Secretary of Homeland Security on the safe and secure use of AI in these really vital areas.
So they're like the AI watchdogs.
Exactly. They're looking at things like how to make sure AI systems are resilient to attacks and how to prevent them from being misused for malicious purposes.
It's like a constant game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
You know, using AI to defend against AI-driven threats.
It is, and the report also mentions the use of AI to protect government software systems from vulnerabilities.
Which is obviously incredibly important.
Especially in our increasingly digital world.
Right. I mean, everything is connected now, so cybersecurity is more crucial than ever.
Absolutely.
But it's not all about defense.
Yeah.
You know, AI is also being harnessed for good in other areas.
Like what?
Like clean energy, for example.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
The Department of Energy actually has a whole report that's specifically focused on AI's potential for clean energy growth.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It lays out how AI can be used to optimize energy grids, develop new renewable energy sources, and even improve energy efficiency in our homes and businesses.
So AI could actually help us combat climate change.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool that we can use to address some of the biggest challenges facing our planet.
That's really encouraging.
It is. And the National Science Foundation is also investing in AI research that could lead to breakthroughs in a wide range of fields.
Like what kind of breakthroughs?
Well, they're looking at using AI to design new materials, accelerate drug discovery, and even understand the fundamental laws of physics.
Wow, that's some next level stuff.
It is. And we talked earlier about how AI is being used to help with astronomical discoveries. You know, analyzing all that data from telescopes.
Right.
But that's just one example. AI is also being used to study climate change, predict natural disasters, and even personalize education.
It's amazing how versatile AI is.
It really is. And the possibilities seem endless.
But it's important to remember that with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to the theme that runs throughout this entire report, the importance of responsible AI development.
Right. It's not just about creating powerful AI systems. It's about ensuring that they are used ethically, transparently, and for the benefit of humanity.
Exactly. And the report really emphasizes the need for public awareness and engagement in shaping the future of AI.
I think that's so important. It's not just a matter for experts and policymakers to decide.
Right. This is something that will impact all of us. So we all need to understand the implications of AI and have a say in how it's developed and used.
We need to be having those conversations now.
Exactly. It's about asking questions like, what values do we want our AI systems to reflect? And how can we ensure that AI benefits everyone, not just a select few?
It's about making sure that AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
And this report is really a call to action. It's an invitation for all of us to get involved in this critical conversation about the future of AI.
It's an invitation we should all accept.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about how the U.S. government is actually using AI in its own operations.
Okay, so how are they using it?
Well, the report acknowledges that while there are many potential benefits to using AI in government, there are also potential risks.
Right, because AI is a powerful tool and it can be misused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB, has issued a government-wide policy on the use of AI.
So they're trying to set some ground rules.
Exactly. This policy, which is known as M2410, mandates risk management practices and prioritizes transparency.
So it's about making sure that when the government uses AI, it does so responsibly and ethically.
Right. And the policy also includes a requirement for agencies to create an inventory of their AI use cases.
So they have to document how and why they're using AI.
Exactly, which helps promote accountability and transparency.
It's about making sure that the government's use of AI is out in the open.
Right. And there's another policy, M2418, that specifically focuses on the responsible acquisition of AI by federal agencies.
Okay, so this is about how the government buys and uses AI systems.
Exactly. And it's about making sure that they're doing it in a way that minimizes risk and promotes a competitive marketplace.
So they're not just handing out contracts to the biggest tech companies.
Right. They want to make sure that there's a level playing field and that the best AI systems are being used regardless of who develops them.
It makes sense.
Now, beyond policies and guidelines, the government is also investing in building its own AI workforce.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. The AI Talent Surge Initiative.
Exactly, that's the one. And they've actually brought over 250 AI practitioners into the federal government through this initiative.
Wow, that's a lot of brain power.
It is, and it's to make sure that agencies actually have the expertise they need to develop, deploy, and manage AI systems responsibly.
Because you can't just throw technology at a problem. You need people who understand how to use it effectively.
Exactly, and to make sure that there's coordination across different government agencies, they've also established the Chief AI Officers Council.
Okay, so what does that council do?
Well, it's like a central hub for sharing best practices and addressing challenges related to AI use in government.
So it's about making sure that everyone is on the same page.
Exactly. And it's clear from all of this that the U.S. government is taking concrete steps to ensure that its own use of AI is aligned with its values and commitment to public service.
It's good to see that they're taking it seriously.
Now, we can't talk about AI without acknowledging its global implications.
Right, AI doesn't stop at national borders.
Exactly. And the report actually dedicates a significant portion to the U.S.'s role in shaping the global landscape of AI governance and collaboration.
Because this is a global issue that requires a global response.
Exactly. And it's crucial for countries to work together to establish shared principles and norms for responsible AI development.
Otherwise, we could end up with a fragmented and chaotic AI landscape.
Right, with different countries developing and using AI in very different ways. And that could lead to all sorts of problems.
Conflicts, ethical dilemmas, economic disparities, you name it.
Exactly. So it's in everyone's best interest to work together on this.
Absolutely, and one of the most significant developments in this area is the landmark UN General Assembly resolution on AI.
I was going to ask you about that.
This resolution, which was adopted unanimously by all UN member states, underscores the global commitment to promoting safe and secure AI use.
So it's a pretty big deal.
It is. It's a powerful statement that AI is a global issue that requires a global response.
And what does the resolution actually call for?
Well, it calls for international cooperation on a number of fronts, including developing ethical guidelines for AI, promoting research on AI safety and security, and ensuring that the benefits of AI are shared widely.
So it's a very comprehensive approach.
It is, and the U.S. is also engaging in direct conversations with other countries to strengthen international rules and norms for AI.
So it's not just talk, they're actually taking action.
Exactly, and this includes working with allies to develop joint statements and agreements on responsible AI development and use.
So it's about building consensus and finding common ground.
Exactly, and to foster collaboration at a more technical level, the U.S. has also announced the creation of a global network of AI safety institutes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, these institutes will bring together researchers and experts from around the world to work on some of the most pressing challenges in AI safety.
Like what?
Things like preventing bias, ensuring transparency, and developing methods for controlling powerful AI systems.
So it's about addressing the potential risks of AI head-on.
Exactly. And it's about doing it collaboratively with the best minds from around the world.
Now, another area where there's been growing international concern is the military applications of AI.
Right, because AI has the potential to revolutionize warfare.
And not necessarily in a good way.
Exactly. There are a lot of ethical and security concerns around the use of AI in the military.
And that's why there's been growing support for the political declaration on the responsible military use of artificial intelligence and autonomy.
Oh, yes. That's an important declaration.
It is, and it now has the backing of 56 nations, which is pretty impressive.
It shows that countries are taking this issue seriously.
And what does the declaration actually say?
Well, it outlines principles for the responsible development and use of AI in military contexts,
Okay.
and it emphasizes the importance of human control over AI systems and the need to avoid unintended consequences.
So it's about making sure that humans are still in the loop when it comes to AI in the military.
Exactly, because we don't want to end up in a situation where AI is making life or death decisions without human oversight.
It's a scary thought.
It is, and it's encouraging to see this level of international consensus on such a sensitive issue. It shows that countries are recognizing the potential dangers of AI in the military domain and are committed to working together to prevent an AI arms race.
That's a relief because an AI arms race is not something any of us want.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about another important development in the global governance of AI. The Council of Europe's Framework Convention on AI and Human Rights, Democracy, and the Rule of Law.
That's a mouthful.
It is, but it's a really important convention, and the U.S. has actually signed it.
Okay, so what does it do?
Well, it establishes a binding legal framework for the development and use of AI that respects human rights, democratic values, and the rule of law.
So it's about making sure that AI is developed and used in a way that is consistent with our fundamental values.
Exactly. And it covers a wide range of issues from data protection and privacy to algorithmic transparency and accountability.
So pretty comprehensive.
It is, and it also establishes mechanisms for monitoring and enforcing compliance with these standards.
So it's not just a set of principles, it's an actual legal framework with teeth.
Exactly, and the U.S. is also a signatory to the Joint Statement on Responsible Government Practices for AI Technologies.
Okay, what does that one say?
Well, it outlines principles for the responsible development, use, and procurement of AI by governments.
So it's specifically focused on government use of AI.
Exactly, and it emphasizes the importance of transparency, accountability, and human oversight in government use of AI.
So it's about making sure that governments are using AI responsibly and ethically.
Exactly, and it also calls for governments to work together to share best practices and address common challenges.
So it's about collaboration and knowledge sharing.
Exactly. Now let's talk about another important issue that the report addresses: the growing problem of online harassment and abuse, particularly against women and girls.
That's a really serious issue.
It is, and to tackle this problem, the U.S. has joined the Global Partnership for Action on Gender-Based Online Harassment and Abuse.
Okay, what is that partnership all about?
Well, it aims to leverage technology, including AI, to combat online harms and promote a safer and more inclusive online environment.
So it's about using technology to fight technology.
Exactly, and it's about recognizing that online harassment and abuse are not just technical problems, they're social problems that require a multifaceted approach.
And it's really important to address these issues because everyone deserves to feel safe and respected online.
Absolutely. Now, all of these international agreements and initiatives demonstrate the growing global recognition that AI is not just a national issue, it's a global one that requires collective action.
It's about working together to ensure that the development and use of AI benefits all of humanity.
Exactly. And the U.S. is playing a leading role in these efforts, working with partners around the world to shape a future where AI is used ethically, responsibly, and for the common good.
It's encouraging to see that level of global cooperation.
It is. It gives me hope that we can navigate the challenges and opportunities of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Yeah, it really is amazing to see so much international collaboration happening around AI. It really does emphasize that we're all in this together.
Absolutely. AI is a global phenomenon, so its impact will be felt worldwide.
For sure.
It just makes sense that countries are working together, to try to address all of these challenges,
Right.
all the opportunities that it presents.
And it's clear from this report that the U.S. is taking this really kind of multifaceted approach to AI. Trying to find that balance between, fostering innovation,
Right.
harnessing the potential, but also making sure that we're mitigating the risks and that it's being used ethically.
It's a tough balancing act.
It is.
But this report does a really good job of kind of laying out all the different aspects of it.
It does.
It paints a really comprehensive picture
Of the current AI landscape and all of the efforts that are being made to kind of navigate all these complexities.
It really highlights how important government action is,
Right.
but also international collaboration
Yeah.
and public engagement.
Yeah. We all need to be a part of this conversation.
Absolutely, if we want to shape a future where AI actually benefits all of humanity.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From specific AI applications to like national strategies and global initiatives.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But hopefully, after listening to this, you have a better understanding of just how quickly AI is evolving
Right.
and how it's impacting our world.
And this report is just a really valuable resource for anyone who wants to, kind of dig deeper and learn more about AI and, all of the implications.
It's really a testament to the fact that AI is not some like futuristic concept anymore.
It's here.
It's here. It's happening now and it's shaping our present and our future.
So if you're interested in learning more, I definitely encourage you to dive into some of the resources that we've mentioned.
Absolutely. There are links in the show notes.
Yes.
And, most importantly, take some time to form your own opinions about AI.
What do you think?
Yeah. What role do you think AI should play in our society?
What are your hopes and concerns about its development and use?
Because the future of AI,
No.
it's not predetermined.
No.
It's up to us.
It's going to be shaped by the choices that we make today.
And those choices need to be informed and thoughtful.
Absolutely.
And inclusive. Everyone needs to have a voice in this.
Because the future of AI is ultimately the future of humanity.
That's a great way to put it.
And that's it for our deep dive on AI 1 year after President Biden's executive order.
Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for listening.